Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Corey, better known as the Seaman, and I want to welcome you to another edition of the Seaman's Cinema Sit-Down. That's right, folks. I've been MIA this week. I've been really sick. Finally feeling a little bit better, well enough to get in front of the camera and talk to you guys. Prior to today, you didn't want to see the Seaman. It wasn't pretty. But we are still chilling in the comic book corner, tying up the last few loose ends of our conversation about Avengers Infinity War. As I didn't do a simple spoiler review, I've been doing a bunch of spoiler videos, and we continue on that path right now. So pull up a chair, take a seat. Today I'm going to talk about the ending of Avengers Infinity War. One thing we really haven't talked about at all. What it means. Where are we? As we know, in the videos I have talked about, Thanos ends half of the universe with the snap of his fingers, and that includes half of our heroes. Throughout the movie, we lose a whole bunch, right? Loki and Heimdall, gone. Actual kill shots, physical, hands-on, deaths from Thanos. Gamora tossed off to get the Soul Stone, so she's gone. So, there are a few deaths. Vision, right? Stone ripped right out of his head after being killed once. Brought back to life via the Time Stone, killed again in an even more brutal fashion. But there were a ton of our Avengers who made it to the end of the movie and then disappeared with the snap of a finger. A really, really cool visual look as all of our heroes start falling and turning to dust, reaching out, falling over. Really very visually captivating. I like the way it looked. But, oh man, you want to talk about shock and awe. One of the things I said that was cool about this movie is you heard people gasping. And there were some massive gasps in this movie, right? Thanos almost kills Tony, stabs Tony in the side with Tony's own armor. But, before being killed, Doctor Strange barters for his life, says, "Don't kill Tony, I'll give you the Time Stone." Thanos abides by it. So that was one of the biggest gasps in the movie. When that happened to Tony, oh man, the whole place was just like, oh no, not Tony! Guess what, folks? It's not Tony. Thanos agrees, doesn't kill Tony. The snap of his fingers, a bunch of the Avengers disappear. So let's run through who we lost. As I said, Gamora already dead, but then almost all of the Guardians gone. Drax, Groot, Mantis, Star-Lord, all of them wiped out. The only survivors, Rocket and Nebula. Paul Bettany, as we said, Stone ripped out, he's gone. Scarlet Witch turns to dust. The first one to turn to dust is Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes. That one got a lot of gasps as Bucky went down. Falcon goes down. Maybe the biggest gasp in all of these, Black Panther goes down. Oh man, the crowd was shocked. Couldn't believe that Black Panther, especially after all the success it had, gone from the universe. It's gone. Clearly Marvel, when they were writing and going, did not realize how big Black Panther was going to be. Or you think you might have maybe kept him in the fold just to play off of how big it was. They end up in all the trailers, but it didn't, clearly not something they expected to be so successful. Huge shock when Panther went down. Along with him, also M'Baku, Okoye, though, alive. Doctor Strange, gone. And then the one that got me, really got me, Peter Parker. When Peter goes down, I've talked about this already, but it's the most gut-wrenching of all of the deaths at the end. He just looks at Tony and goes, "Mr. Stark, I don't feel good." "No, I don't want to go." Ugh, heart-wrenching. We'll talk about that in another video. But basically all your new people are gone, which is wild. The only people we can assume are still alive are Hawkeye, who doesn't appear in the movie at all. He took a deal after being imprisoned, as did Scott Lang, who was also not in the movie. So we assume that we don't see them, so we assume that they're both okay, as is Wasp. So we can guess that they'll be back in the fold. But at the end of the movie, all we are left with, outside of our main group, Rhodes, who's been here from day one. Maybe not Don Cheadle, but Rhodes has been. Rhodes is still around. As I mentioned, Nebula and Rocket still around. Wong might be around. I don't remember seeing Wong turn to dust, so he might still be in New York at the Sanctum. And then Okoye. Okoye, the only one really from our Black Panther contingent that's still around. I don't think... did Shuri die? I want to say everyone but those 4 or 5 are left. And then it's just our main Avengers. It is Iron Man, it is Thor, it is Cap, it's Black Widow. As I mentioned, we assume Hawkeye is going to show up because we didn't see him die. And it's Bruce Banner. He can't turn into Hulk right now, but he's there. So it's very interesting. It's one of these things, tons of shock and awe when this happened in the theater. And the place went crazy. Like, oh my gosh, what is everybody? The movie stopped, and the credits start rolling. And everyone's just like, what just happened? But before you go running and being like, oh my god, I can't believe this. All this build up, and now it's just a whole bunch of deaths that are definitely gonna get reversed because pretty much everyone that died has a movie coming out at some point after Avengers Infinity War 4, or not Infinity War, Avengers 4, sorry. But you know, they all have movies after 4, so we now know all the deaths that they gave us don't count. Nonetheless, that we don't know which ones might. I mean, Gamora could be gone. I don't know. But the reason I like this maneuver, even if we're gonna erase them, is at the end of the day, this all started with Tony, right? This is one of the things I've said along the whole way. So this has been Tony's story. We start with Tony and the Avengers. That's where we started. That was our group that has brought us all the way here. The initial goal was to get the Avengers on screen. That worked. Then it was like, all right, let's build to another one, and then let's build to this really big thing. Obviously, at the end of Avengers, we see Thanos. So we know we're building toward this really big event type movie, and it's this has been the Avengers story, and it's only right. You know, people say Avengers and we just think all the superheroes, but the Avengers are Iron Man, Cap, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye. Those 6 are our Avengers, and I love that we are back with that group. It is going to be on that group to figure out how to fix the universe, how to fix everything that happened, how to stop and beat Thanos. And I love that going into Avengers 4, we are with all of our Avengers still intact. You know, do I think it detracts because we didn't kill Tony or Cap? No. I do. I like that we have this group going into Avengers 4. And then, of course, the big drop was post-credit. You get all the way to the end. Wait for all of them. A few times people were like, is there going to be a post-credit? The credits rolled very differently at the end of this movie. No animated graphics, just straight roll. A very, very somber, heavy feel at the open and at the close of this movie. But post-credits, we get to see good old Nick Fury and Maria Hill as they start to witness cars crashing, helicopters coming down. It almost is like... you know, the rapture, right? Like, people have just vanished from the earth. And now half the earth is left, but people who vanished might have been driving cars. Cars crash, helicopter goes down. It looks almost like a terror sequence, right? It's crazy, and they're kind of looking around what's happening, and then Maria turns to dust. And as that starts to happen, Samuel Jackson, good old Nick Fury, gets out a beeper, of all things, and it starts going, goes, oh no. He starts to disappear to dust. We get a classic Samuel Jackson line cut off because he disappears before he finishes as he goes, mother, and off he goes. But we see the beeper drop and it says sending. So we got the message out if it sends, and it does connect, and the logo comes up on there, and that logo is, of course, Captain Marvel. She will be the second movie following Ant-Man and Wasp in between this Avengers and the next Avengers. And it's safe to say that Captain Marvel has a humongous role to play in Avengers 4. I have a feeling that there's a real good chance, being that her movie is the lead-up, we may be starting with her story rather than, you know, maybe picking up time-wise where we are. We'll go back to where everybody is. But I have a feeling Captain Marvel might be where we start in Avengers 4. And she could be the thing that swings it all around. But the message is out, which means Carol Danvers is on her way. So that's it, man. That's the end of the movie. Lots of shocking developments. Lots of things that are going to make us wait a year. And it is going to be the longest wait ever. As we wait for this next year to find out what happens to all of our favorite characters. So that's it. That's all I got to say, man. What did you guys think of the end? Did your theater go crazy the way mine did? Was everybody, like, confused, shocked, didn't know what to expect, ready to vomit? Oh, man, my theater was a mess on opening night. So hit the comments. Let me know what your theater was like, what you thought of the end. Were you pissed, like I think a lot of people might be? Where did you land on how you thought the end of the movie played out? If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up. I always like those, and as always, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and the little bell so you get alerts every time I make a new video. For the Seaman Cinema Sit Down, I am the Seaman. I'm signing off. Peace!